What's really good, y'all? Yo, this is crazy. So, as of recently, we seen Young M.A. went on and did a freestyle, and she was killing it, doing her thing. And she got to the point in a verse where she said, uh, do it like hookah, smoking Tooka, and spitting it out like a jet cloud. Now, that's crazy because, as we know, anybody who's really been up on the Chicago drama knows that that's a direct diss on a gang that is part of the affiliations with King Yella and FBG, which actually FBG Duck actually spoke. And all of that has to do with surrounding the murders and things in Chicago between 300 Gang and Tooka Gang. And this is crazy because we're looking at an MC again that's not part of the Chicago culture, but talking about one of their homeboys in the middle of a freestyle like it's smooth. And why are we surprised that these guys are responding when, like he said, every day in Chicago people are literally killed over making those type of references, even when they're just talking normally? I mean, it doesn't even have to be a song. They could diss them saying that, oh, I'm smoking such and such. Basically, having smoke is about violence off the top. So to just say you're literally smoking a pack of someone's brethren is a direct diss. And this is slang that is disrespectful between gangs in Chicago that they use to taunt each other. So it's being used in a freestyle like it's smooth, and now public that may not know of the culture in Chicago are going to be going around saying stuff like that like it's not a game. And the only thing is that Young M.A. right now is in the spotlight. It's all about who's in the spotlight. So if there was another MC in the spotlight, and let's just say that it was someone who was from Chicago, it would be different because they know. Like, if you're from Chicago, you know. I only know because I've been following MCs such as Chief Keef, Little Durk, and just a few others, SD, Fredo Santana. These MCs for a very long time. And I mean, I saw the different things that conspired not only on Twitter but in life with these individuals when they made these disses. Now it's crazy because now it's on a radio show, she makes the diss, and these artists in Chicago, FBG Duck and King Yella, are very popular artists, but they have not blew up to the extent that a Young M.A. has, because she had a hot single. And 99% of that, honestly, in my opinion, was the beat. Because the guy who makes her beats is very good. I've been listening to his beats for a long time. He's just prolific with the type of beats he makes. So to see what it's turning into isn't shocking, but it's alarming, because her as an MC, you have too much again to do to be being an affiliate for people to even make references to say, hey, you can't come here and perform because you said this, or to even make drama. So what they're doing is just causing future conflict that's going to get real. And if anyone knows in Chicago, or you seen that video, A Night in Chicago, I wasn't going to do a whole production on it, but you heard the sounds that were going on that I guess an officer was filming. The sounds, the gun sounds on his left and his right, in front of him, behind him, you saw someone running. Like, it's wild, and it's not a game. It's not a joke. It's nothing like I could spit a verse about and then ride off. Like, my people ain't really getting shot up because they live somewhere else, or they think something different from someone. So it's a real situation, and it's like they made it into a rap. So in my instance, I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, she did this to this gang, so she deserves it. It's not even that. It's the fact that behind that whole name Tooka, blocks are always named after a homie of theirs that died. I guess that kept it the truest in their hood or whatever. So when you kind of come at people that they knew in real life, they live life through, and like it's a diss on a dead MC or a dead resident relative that they have respect for, you can't be mad that they're addressing it. It's like a family member, and people are taking the culture out of Chicago and now making a song about it, but it's really meant as a diss. So whether she knew that or not, I'm not sure, because you know, MCs freestyling, you just say what you hear, the first thing that comes to mind, or what will rhyme. And I don't think she necessarily knew the details behind it, because she doesn't have affiliations with Chicago people that I've seen. Nothing in the people she's met or on her tour tells me, yo, she knew she meant that. She knew she was saying that. So I can't just say like, oh, she was doing that to be disrespectful. I think she said it because it sounded good, and she heard it in a few songs maybe before and didn't think much of it or didn't expect people to respond. But it's pretty crazy, because you're definitely going to get a response out of MCs in Chicago, especially when they're working hard to blow up. So, you know, this is a very sticky situation that they need to get panned out, because Chicago, although you could perform your whole life and not go to Chicago, I mean, it's a huge spot for the culture right now as far as music goes. So to not have the ability to ride through it or have drama with people around there, it's kind of putting yourself in the limelight to be aimed at. It's definitely putting a disadvantage over your name, you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that could be taken easily, because these are grown men that travel all over the place. We just seen Famous Dex get the ability to travel. I've seen King Yella and FBG Duck and the whole FBG team making moves in Ohio with music. So they travel and they're all over. So coming to New York wouldn't be nothing for them, let alone you going to Chicago wouldn't be nothing. So when the drama's tense as it is and you're using gang-related disses, they definitely take it that you're about gang life and you're trying to cause a problem. So it's sad that, again, that we have rising stars quarreling amongst each other and not getting to the money in the situation, but getting to the drama. And I would say it's for entertainment purposes if I haven't been watching these MCs and seeing that how real life is for them. So there's no way I could say, hey, you know, it's just a song, or these guys aren't really going to do it, because you don't know what they're going to do, especially being that it's a diss made famous by a rival gang now being used by another famous individual on the rise. So it's almost like they can look at it as everyone taking shots at them on their way to the top. And it's sad because it has to be that way, but I don't think they're going to let it slide. I've seen these guys putting in work for a long time, and it's just a situation that almost begs to have their attention, because they putting out music, moving steadily, trying to live their life and provide for their family. Now it's like, man, like you bringing up my dead homie in a rap song just to make light of him, and saying you smoking it. Like, it's like when they say I'm smoking such and such, like you're literally saying that you're smoking the ashes of that dead person. Like, it's like, come on. It's like, let the deceased be deceased. Like, it's just very hard for them to get past this, being that was their homie, and the age around he passed isn't the normal age that individuals even live to. So it's a very challenging and trying time, especially in Chicago with the violence and different things. So to bring light to it only made sense that they were going to step up to the plate. Now what we got to see is the reaction by Young M.A. We got to see what Young Ma does. I mean, we don't really know what her reaction is going to be to their action. So it's going to become a big conflict, and it's something to be looking out for the next few weeks, because these things turn over quickly. We saw how the SOULJA Boy drama was turning over quickly. It was going amongst different MCs and celebrities, and then it ended in him getting bagged in the situation. Well, now we can almost see that this is going to turn to something else, because Young M.A. ain't going to let them slide on saying stuff. She has an image to uphold, and these individuals are protecting the rights of their dead homie, you know what I mean? Because he was disrespected. And that's been something always part of Chicago. They always have used that as diss, and they always have basically responded. And there's no time they really didn't respond to that. So if we look on the history of them addressing people, saying it and taking it so lightly, we see that the Chicago culture now has been a huge effect on hip-hop. And it's been a huge effect on the gangster part of hip hop and what is gangster and what makes a gangster. So we have to look real in depth and understand that these individuals who are responding to Young M.A. are part of the original gangsterdom of what hip hop has become. They were there when the drama was most heavy and Chief Keef was on his way up. So these aren't new people to the game. These are just maybe reoccurring faces after a while, but these aren't new people, and them addressing it isn't new. They always have. So it's something where we either need to see if an apology is going to happen or if some type of drama is going to go down because they disrespected. So it's a little outlandish, just a little crazy. Again, we have violence becoming the focus of a situation, but everybody needs to use this for the most positive and say, look, you know, she's dissing her, she's not responding, so if she comes to Chicago, what's going to happen? Or is there going to be some type of mending of viewpoints? And usually the viewpoints thing doesn't work nowadays because we got a lot of violence that's leading the culture and a lot of issues that aren't being addressed or that are being covered up with more problems so that the root of the issues aren't solved. And there's many parties at work. There's many different parties that created the situations that exist today for these MCs and these inconvenienced individuals that live in projects or live in areas that are less fortunate. So we have to look at the big picture, and we got to remember that, you know, coming up in the game, Young M.A. has to stay humble and has to stay focused and has to be very careful with the company you keep. The company you keep can be the end of you. That's why you have to be very careful who you're around and what you guys are conversating about or what you're talking about, because these people can have beef and drama with people you have no clue about, and it could get twisted up with you, especially on a rise in the game and coming up so fast as you have. So there just needs to be more action towards preserving her legacy and what she's trying to pursue instead of glorifying the worst of it. And there just needs to be some type of viewpoint settlement between these two parties, and everyone needs to move on and keep making music. Like I always say, you're not at the top until you're sitting up there with the MCs you used to think of idolizing. So you got to make those moves to get up where you need to be. Everyone check for daily content. I actually got more content dropping later on. Like, share, subscribe, all rights reserved.